I'm going to call on the junior freshman and law and business student Ben Butler to open the case for the proposition.
I'm standing here this evening because we have a problem. We have a problem when banks are too big to fail. We have a problem when we have money for healthcare and education. We put this money into these banks that have taken over society. We have a problem when 1% of the population controls 40% of the wealth. We have a problem with the whole capital system as a whole. And that's what's going to be my first point tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the Occupy Wall Street movement has spread from Wall Street and has electrified people across the globe. It's focused attention on the behaviour of this financial elite, their institutions, and the way they do their business. It's also raised profound questions about the way we live in society as a whole. If you strip back all the layers of capitalism, go past all the banks, all the people who work there, and go into society and how this is capitalised. We get to the heart of the system that we have, a system that's characterised by aggressiveness and ruthlessness, and essentially just stepping over your fellow man. This adversarial attitude, which has started in the financial sector, has now been replicated into society as a whole, and there's a problem there. No, thank you. The current crisis is simply a culmination of the last century of hyper-competitiveness, where things have been bad from the start and have got progressively worse and worse, and here we are now. For the last 100 years, it's been a rat race, where the only way you can win is by stepping over the person who's fallen in front of you. And there's something fundamentally wrong there. There's something fundamentally wrong in a world where the only way we value a person is by the amount of pieces of paper and bits of metal that they can collect. We value people ultimately for this, and that is a problem. In fact, when we say the whole thing earn, we say that they deserve this wealth. But look at this 1%, these people who control this 40% of wealth, who have made investments with your money and have gotten away with it. When it goes well, they make money. When it goes bad, we pay for it. There's something wrong there. I'd like to make clear to the opposition at present that we, on the proposition, we don't have a well-functioning system. We're not trying to destroy the system for irrational reasons. The system is destroying itself. I'll take it in a second. Democracy, which is going to be my second point, as a political system is undermining itself at the moment, which you know I really agree.
Would you think that rather than throwing the baby out with the bathwater, you know, the good aspects of capitalism, rather than just demonising the whole system?
I'm saying that, yeah, capitalism as a system is good. We aren't all socialists and communists on the proposition side. The only way we're communists is saying that we believe in the common good. And the capitalism that we have at the moment, rather than trying to baby out the bathwater, we're getting rid of the bathwater and keeping this beautiful baby to bring up in a better world, which Occupy Wall Street is envisioning. Occupy's solution isn't Main Street, not Wall Street. Occupy wants to envision a society where Main Street can exist without Wall Street, where we don't need this elite that controls everything, where we don't need this people who control the system. No thanks. You control a two-party system, particularly in America, particularly where this movement began, in Wall Street. A system with two parties, where you're voting for a party that is controlled by big business and believes in climate change, and a party that is controlled by big business and doesn't believe in climate change. No thanks. Where even in Ireland, at best, every 4 and 5 years get to vote between vanilla and vanilla with some chocolate little bits in there. Look at our current government. No thanks, they're enacting the exact same policies that Fianna Fáil had. It's different faces on the same system. No thank you. And the reason why real change can never come about through this political process is the political process itself. Everyone has been brought into this capitalist sort of consensus. Even the left parties, even the Labours, they're capitalist parties. They're funded by business. They throw token money towards kids and poor people to keep up this pretense that they're not part of the same system. No, thank you. What Occupy Wall Street has done has challenged the standard narrative of recent times. It's up to us, this house, to continue this, to occupy Wall Street and to join with these people. No, thank you. It's up to us to show politicians that there is a real alternative, that we do like chocolate and strawberry and all the flavours that we have out there. We must make them realise that democracy cannot exist in a society designed by these rich, powerful 1%, as a political system that is designed to represent them and to control the vote by them. This is what this debate is about. Yes, Occupy Wall Street has some crazies like every movement. Yes, there are some hippies and the rest. But we let these people vote. The vote is not means tested, so why is protest essentially means tested?
I'm not.
No, thank you. This is what Occupy Wall Street is about. And I know the opposition are going to get up here and say, well, it's all well and good complaining about something when you don't have a real alternative. What's the problem, and I'd like to point out here first, is that it's more important to say, hold on a minute, before you do something else. Let's take it outside this kind of heavy economic debate we're going to get tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's think of a car crash. You're walking down Pier Street and you see two cars coming to crash into each other. The first thing you do is shout, look out. You don't shout, I think a better alternative would be if you drove slower and were more careful when I drive. The first thing you do is say, stop. Hold on, something's not right, you shouldn't be driving like this. This is the problem. Before we bring in our road traffic regulations, before we do all these other things, we stop and say there's a problem. That's what Occupy Wall Street is doing, and that is why you're voting for here tonight. You're saying something is wrong, and we don't know how to fix it just yet, but we have an idea, and our idea is better than the current system. Yeah. This is what the debate is about tonight. Whether or not there is a fundamental problem with our current capitalist society, and whether or not we have the strength to change that. The only thing you're going to hear from the opposition tonight is that the movement isn't perfect. It isn't perfect. We're not saying it's perfect. It has its flaws. But its benefits and what it's saying, its message, and the principle behind the practicalities is what's important here tonight. This is what Occupy Wall Street is about. And we are the 99%. And for those reasons...